Do not attempt to adjust your set. This is a streaming freedom video bulletin. It cannot be stopped, and it is the only free voice left on the net. Hello friends, and welcome back to the channel. Today's Skyrim mod video on PS4 is a discussion video. I just want to kind of talk to you guys about what you're currently seeing on screen, which is mods containing external assets. In the case of the mods that I'm using here, which are changing up my fire, lightning, and ice spells that you'll be seeing in gameplay, because I thought you guys might want to see some of these that were just recently uploaded by the mod author Hacker D Rice, ported to PlayStation. I'll show the names of the mods at the end of the video. That adds in, as you're seeing here, new looks to some of the spells, like the Ignite spell, giving custom particles, new art, assets. Some of the other mods that he has uploaded contain either, if I'm understanding it correctly, mod description, external assets in the form of custom scripts or new scripts that were not a part of the game originally. And in any case, I kind of wanted to talk about this because a lot of you, myself included, are probably wondering what exactly is going on, and are these mods here to stay? Now, everything in this video is speculation on my part. I want to make that perfectly clear. I can't say with any certainty if we're going to be able to keep these or not. A lot of people have pointed out that Baldur's Gate 3 on PS5 does contain external asset mods, and that Sony is even promoting that, which is odd given, you know, their track record when it comes to this. Now, according to a friend of the channel, who is one of my channel moderators, Emma Sports, he did some research into this and found out, if I'm pronouncing the company's name right, Larian, if that's the company that's behind Baldur's Gate 3, made a deal with Sony that in exchange for paying extra for the privilege to have external asset mods on the platform, and that Sony would be able to review the mods before they were made, I guess, public to the end user, that they would allow external assets for Baldur's Gate 3, and that Larian agreed to that so that their player base would all have access to the same mods regardless of what platform they were playing on. Now, he also said, although I don't know if he meant originally or now, that Bethesda was made the same offer by Sony, but Bethesda did not want to pay extra, which I can 100% believe, and that they did not want Sony reviewing the mods. Now, the research that I've done on that originally, I found nothing about Sony ever being offered, or excuse me, Bethesda ever being offered the use of external assets by having to pay more to have them on the platform. All of the articles that I found back when mods were first allowed in the PS4 version of Skyrim made it perfectly clear that there were not going to be external assets allowed, and that we would be getting then, of course, less content mod-wise than PC or Xbox. So I don't know if he meant originally or currently that maybe when Sony and Larian made this deal, Bethesda was offered the same deal. It seems to me odd that if there are not supposed to be external assets on here now, there is so many. If you go into the mod page right now, you'll see, along with these, a bunch have recently been uploaded, all by Hacker D Rice. Seems to be all ports of PC mods, and again, as long as I'm understanding it correctly, they contain new art assets, custom particles, either new or custom scripts. There's a flying mod I've yet to try out that would definitely be something that would have to contain external assets. And the question is, with all of this, with what Bethesda has ruled recently concerning Kiko ports and his mods, and now these mods up, exactly what's going on. See, even that there, well, that's neat, it's actually hitting over there. Now, I don't use these spells often enough, but I don't think it normally do that. I think it'll just shoot straight, and you can see it's curving down, and you can see it hitting the structure over there. It's very cool. But in any case, it leads me to wonder what's going on, because if this was originally something that Sony said to Bethesda that we would allow, then it makes me wonder if we've been blaming, as a community for PlayStation, blaming Sony when it was really Bethesda because they didn't want to have to pay extra or have the mods reviewed. In that case, I think that's bullshit. It really, for one, I don't see a problem with having the mods reviewed by Sony to make certain that they are safe for the platform before having them uploaded. And for Bethesda having to pay more for that, Bethesda has made so much money and continues to make so much money on this game. The new paid mods, for example, you know full well that the majority of that profit...
What are you doing?
I'm playing with fire, what's it look like? The majority of that profit is going to Bethesda. That's not going to the mod authors that created it. They're getting a small percentage, but you know Bethesda is getting the majority of that profit. So, in exchange for them paying a little bit of extra and giving some permission to Sony to review the mods, if we could have had them all along, that's what they should have done. And then it's really been on Bethesda, not Sony, like we've all been thinking. It could possibly be, maybe, that they have made that agreement. Maybe they've seen that it was working well for Larian and decided that they'd have the same agreement for whenever maybe Elder Scrolls 6 ever comes out, and they're testing it here or something. I don't know. I don't have any of that information. Like I said again, it's all speculation on my part. But I will say that they need to communicate with us as a community a hell of a lot better than they do, and by they I mean Bethesda. If external asset mods are now being allowed, mods that contain new art assets, new scripts, custom scripts, whatever, let us know. Promote that on your front page before we ever even go into the creations page like they promote other stuff. Let us as a community know that if we choose to download and install these mods, that we're not going to lose access to them. That could potentially cause issues later in a playthrough, whatever. Or it may not, you know, don't know. And likewise, let our mod author community know, because you know a lot of effort and work has to go into, like with Hacker Rice, porting these over to get them to function correctly, and Kiko ports as well before, with getting them to function correctly on our platform, that a lot of work has to go into making these ports. And if a mod author is going to take the time to port something like this over, or possibly even just, you know, completely make a new one containing external assets, they need to be confident in the fact that the time that they're taking isn't going to be in vain, and that the mod could be removed at any minute, while a different mod by a different author is still allowed up and is also an external asset mod. As well as, finally, something I've mentioned before, mods that have been previously removed that worked perfectly fine, mods like the FOV and the FPS mods by the mod author Rivington, if I'm saying your name correctly, as well as our other mod authors, need to be put back up and made available. Any case, I just kind of wanted to talk to this, give my opinion on a few things, because, again, if you're like me, you're probably wondering what's going on here. As far as mods now, should you download and install them? I say treat them like you would any other mod. Treat them with the same respect, and be careful that you would with anything else. Don't install too many of them at the same time. That way, if you do get an issue, because some of them may not function correctly if they don't have complete access to everything they would on PC, don't know. The three that I'm testing here for the Fire, Lightning, and Ice, they seem to work perfectly fine. But in any case, if you only put a few on at a time to test, to see, and you have an issue, it'll be easier to figure it out versus if you have a bunch on and then go from there. But be aware that whatever you choose to download and install, until we know otherwise, could be removed at some point. We simply don't know. Again, Bethesda needs to communicate with us and make this shit clear. Any case, again, I will say, even though I've said this before, I want to make it perfectly clear. Nothing here is official. This is all speculation on my part, so please take it as that. It's just a conversation with you guys. Thank you for taking the time to watch the video. I'll go ahead and cut in the names of the 3 mods that you saw in this video, and I'll also show where I have them in my load order currently, where I'm testing it. Thank you, and take care. So this is where I currently have the 3 mods that I'm going to be showing in the video while I'm testing them. I kind of have them near the bottom of my load order, and they seem to be functioning fine here. Right around with like texture replacers and the thing that changes up blood and increases that. Kind of figured that way nothing would override it and stuff. In fact, I'll go ahead and scroll on down so you can see just how close to the bottom it actually is. This is the end of the load order right here.